Namaha. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. In this satsanga, now we are discussing about Shodasha Samskaras. What are they? And what relevance these Shodasha Samskaras have in our present day life. In our last sitting, we have seen what the Shodasha Samskaras are and where it comes. That is, in the Vaidika Shastras or among Vaidika karmas, where does this Shodasha Samskaras come? That we have seen. These Shodasha Samskaras are a part of Naimittika karmas. As we have seen in our last session, the first samskara is Garbhadhana. Garbhadhana is also called Nisheka Samskara. Another name is Virya Sthapana Samskara. And it is also called Viryadhanam. So many names are there. All these are synonyms. This is considered as the first samskara. Sometimes we may think why it is said considered. If it is the first samskara, it is the first samskara. Then why you are adding a word considered? Then comes the question, which comes first, sunrise or sunset? This is a question. As we are working in the daytime, we may say sunrise is coming first and sunset is the end of the daytime. Yes, it is true. But for those who are working in the night, sunset will be the beginning and sunrise the end. Because in cyclical movements, we cannot say which is the beginning and which is the end. What we are considering as the beginning is the beginning for us. And what we are considering as the end is the end for us. So it is quite relative. When we are taking human life, if we are taking human life as something beginning from birth and ending with death, then of course birth is the beginning. It is the first stage. But if we are accepting cycle of births and deaths, accumulation of samskaras, and the carry forward of the samskaras from one birth to another, and the transmigration, then we cannot say which is the beginning, which is the end, because it is a cycle. It's a cyclical movement. That is why it is said, considered as the first samskara. Yes, we are human beings living in this world, attached to this world, identifying ourselves with this body, and with that identification with the body we are working here. And so there is no doubt we have to consider birth as the first stage, to the beginning stage. And from this point of view, we are saying Garbhadhana is the first samskara. See, we cannot make one man with full samskara in a day or two, in an year or two. It's a continuous process. It's a continuous process. It is accumulating more and more sat samskaras and removing impurities from us. So it is a continual process. And in that endeavor, we are taking this as the first samskara, that is Garbhadhana. And what is Garbhadhana? Garbhadhana is, it can be translated as insemination. It is insemination. If we are biologically taking that. But there is a great philosophy, a great vision behind that. That is, after proper marriage, proper means in our early days, there were many types of marriages. Mainly 8 types of marriages are explained in the Dharma Shastras, that is Smritis. But we cannot accept them all. Still, there were such marriages which in this era we cannot accept, we cannot follow. These marriages are Brahmam, Arsham, Daivam, Gandharvam, Prajapatyam, Asuram, Rakshasam, and Paishacham. If we analyze this eight types of marriages, vivahas. In the present day world, we can accept only two from them. That is Gandharvam and Prajapatyam. In the Gandharva Vivaham, both the persons involved, that is woman and man, they are choosing. They are selecting. And they are accepting a married life. They are deciding to live together and to enter into Vivaha Samskaras. And in Prajapatya, relatives, especially elders, especially father, mother, and such elders, they will inquire the suitable couple, who is suitable to whom, and they will find out the bride or the groom, and with the consent of the bride, underline that, with the consent of the bride, marriage ceremony will be solemnized. So that is Prajapatya. These two types are acceptable in the present day world. Others we cannot accept. But there were such marriages which we cannot even think of in the present day world. So after proper marriage and after undergoing Grihasthrama Pravesha Samskara, that we will consider later, with the blessings of parents and elders in the home. That is most important. The blessings of the parents and the elders in the home. Husband and wife. That is Patni and Pati. See, in English we are using wife and husband. But in Sanskrita, it's a huge treasure. Sanskrita Bhasha is a huge treasure. And there are many, many words. Of course, they are synonyms. But according to context, the meaning will be different. For example, when we say Patni and Pati, both these comes from the root Patl Gatau. So it will mean those who are traveling together to a high goal or to the highest goal. So Pati and Patni are those who are traveling together to a highest goal. See the beauty of that. See the greatness of that meaning. So Pati and Patni. When we are saying Bharya and Bharta, it will mean one who is protecting, that is Bharta, and that who is protected, that is Bharya. So the protector and the protected, that is Bharta and Bharya. That is not a good usage. But sometimes we will have to use. Then Sahadharmi and Sahadharmini. Sahadharmi and Sahadharmini. That is those who are engaged in the practice of dharma together, sharing their life, sharing their views, sharing their deeds, sharing their thoughts. For what? To perform dharma, to maintain dharma. They are sahadharmi and sahadharmani. So many such words are there. But in English, mainly there are wife and husband. What is the meaning of wife or husband? I don't know. I don't know. Those who know, you can share with me. Actually, I am speaking frankly. What is the real meaning? From where that comes? I do not know. But we know from usage, wife and husband. So here we can say pati and patni. So they will, with the blessing of the parents and the elders, and of course, after doing some rituals connected with Garbhadhana Samskara, they will unite together with a prayer within. What is the prayer? Let a child with a high intellectual ability come. Let a child with all virtues come. Let a child with all greatness come. He must be powerful, capable, with intellectual ability, with all virtues. Such a child must come. For that they are praying. And with that prayer within, actually that mating happens. And see, not only for this Garbhadhana Samskara, but for all the Samskaras, there are certain rituals. And these rituals are performed in the house itself. And of course, there will be one Acharya who will be the Upadhyaya of that family, or a priest who know how to perform these rituals, who is leading a virtuous life, dharmic life. Such a priest, such a karmi will be invited, and he will be performing the rituals. And see, husband and wife, that is pati and patni, they must sit together in the samasana. Samasana is common asana. In front of the Homa Kunda, and they will have to chant different mantras. And those mantras are to invoke the benediction from Devatas, to be blessed with a virtuous child. Of course, this ritual will be performed in the daytime, and after that they will prostrate before father, mother, pita, mata, and if Matamahi or Pitamahi or Matamaha or Pitamaha are there in the house, they have to prostrate them and get blessings from them. See, this is the most valuable thing in our life. This is the most valuable wealth in our life. That is blessings from elders. how it will influence our life, how it will change the course of our life, how it will make us wealthy in all respects, we cannot explain. We cannot explain that. But blessing from elders, that is the greatest wealth we can have in this world. So we must get that. So after having that, in the night time, in the specific muhurta, that is told by the acharya, they will have to be one, become one for an intellectually and not only intellectually, but in all respects, a great child. They're praying for that. See, when all these rituals are performed, their mind will be calm. And because of these prayers and the blessings from elders, all positive energy which will be with them. So they will be living in that vibe, that positive vibe. Their internal and external atmosphere will be positive. And that will definitely influence the electric flows within them, the hormone secretions within them, and the state of their mind will be stable and calm. And it is at that time, we will be able to invite a great soul, great jiva. So this first samskara is actually an invitation. Yeah, this Garbhadana Samskara is an invitation. Pati and Patni are inviting a great Atma, virtuous one, with all abilities, intellectual capacity, to come and become their child. See? So this is that much positive and practical approach. And the psychological and biological influences or psychological and biological importances of the samskara, we have to learn. The present day science, present day know-how teaches us how all these factors influence the process of childbirth. So, this is a samskara by which we are inviting a great child. So when we study this Garbhadana Samskara, we will understand that our children are or must not, or must be, we can say that our children must be the product of dharmic sankalpa. That is the product of dharma. Our children must be product of dharma, not byproduct of karma. Our children must not be byproduct of karma. What is byproducts of karma? With the lust within. Men and women are coming together and they are engaging in sexual activity. So that is for happiness or for that temporal happiness, they are becoming one. That happiness is the product. And as an unwanted byproduct or non-invited byproduct, children are coming. No, it is not our concept. It is not what Dharma Shastras are teaching. Our children must be products of Dharma, must not be byproducts of karma. This must be taken as a mantra. This must be taken as a mantra. So this is Garbhadhana Samskara. As I have said earlier, I do not know what are the mantras used in this Garbhadhana Samskara, that ritual, that you can ask to experts in that ritualistic part of our Shastra, that is those experts in Karmakandis. We are discussing the relevance, the importance of these samskaras and how we can follow these Shodasha Samskāras in the present day world. Because sometimes we may say, no, we cannot follow that. We are living in the most modern world. Here, these are not relevant. So take away your old rituals and all. We may say. Why? Because of our ignorance. We do not know what these are. What are their psychological impact, or why they are prescribed? What are the importance of such samskaras socially, individually, and in the individual aspect, biologically, anatomically? So many aspects, so many factors are there. So we have to learn that. We have to learn that. So this is the Garbhadhana Samskara. So after the Samskara, then comes Pumsavana Samskara. That is the second Samskara. Now, I think we can go to that topic in our next sitting. So try to learn what Garbhadhana Samskara is, and those who are not married, they must learn more and more. From experts, they must remove their doubts with discussions with experts in psychology, gynecology, and human physiology. They have to know what importance these samskaras have, of course. And those who do not have a chance for a child, those who are elders, let them learn to teach others, teach our next generation. How practical these samskaras are, we must know. So this Garbhadana Samskara, we must understand, we must follow, and we must produce products of Dharma. Our children must not be burden for us. They are no byproducts. They are not byproducts. They are products of Dharma. Then only our system of Dharma will sustain. So try to learn more about this. In our next 16, we can go to the next Samskara. Namaste. So whatever doubt you want to ask, you can ask. If I know, I will reply.
Namaste, Babaji. Swamiji, namaste. Babaji is
Namaste.
first question.
Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste. Namaste.
Swamiji, Chit as in Sachidananda and Chittam as referenced in our Andakarana, can you sort of amplify how they are explained in the Shastras, and do they both come from the same dhatu? Also, we talk about Chitta Shuddhi, and it is translated as a mental purification. So is that a proper translation actually when we say mental purification? We can probably throw some light on that, please.
Yeah. It's, Chit is knowledge absolute. That is the substratum from which all waves of knowledge are coming. It is the very base of all the waves of knowledge. That is Chit. That is the absolute knowledge. Whereas Chittam is a function of, we cannot say a part, it's a function of our Antakarana. Just like Manas and Buddhi, mind and intellect. Chittam is a function. It is responsible for memorizing. All the samskaras are kept in the Chittam. And from that samskaras, memory is coming. Mind is taking the samskaras from Chittam and make it memory. That is Chittam. Then comes the question, from which root they are coming. There is a root dhatu, chiti samjnane. Chiti samjnane. That means the root chiti is to mean samjnanam. Samjnanam is harmonious knowledge. Samjnanam. Jnanam is knowledge. Sam is to mean harmonious or great or such things. So knowledge is the meaning of chiti dhatu. And to that dhatu, when ta is added, it will make chittam. And which is the suffix to be added with the chiti to make chit. I am not remembering. But however, the dhatu is chiti. From the same dhatu, both the words are coming. See, millions and millions of words are there in the Samskrita Bhasha. This language, Samskritam language, millions and millions of words are there. But all these words are coming from dhatus. Mainly, there are some words which are not coming from dhatus. They are called nipatams. Nipatita. But mainly, almost 99% of words are coming from dhatus, but there are only 1,400 and odd dhatus. That is lesser than 1,500. So from these 1,500 dhatus, all these words are coming. Suffixes are there, prefixes are there. So, and so many vyakarana prakriyas. Vyakarana is vyakarana. Vyakriyante shabdaha anena, by which all these words are being developed. Vyakriyante, being developed. That is vyakarana. So in the Vyakarana Shastra, so many processes are there with the help of which we are making the huge multitude of these words. So the same root, from the same root, different shabdas with different meanings will emerge. That depends on the prakriya. That depends on the pratyaya. That depends on the upasarga. So many aspects are there. So the root is the one and the same. Then the next part of the question is Chitta Shuddhi. Chitta Shuddhi is purity of the Antakarana. When we are saying Chitta Shuddhi and Mana Shuddhi, we must not differentiate between this mind, intellect, Chittam and Ahankara. We must not do that. As a whole, we have to take the Antakarana, and then only we can use the word Chitta Shuddhi or Mana Shuddhi. When there are auspicious thoughts with it, when the mind is filled with auspicious thoughts, then naturally it will be pure. When bad thoughts come, it will become impure. See, actually, what is mind? Vrittayo manaha. Ramana Maharshi says, Vrittayaha manaha. It is Vrittayaha. These waves, thought waves, it makes the mind. So, mental purity or the purity in the chitta, all these are filling our internal instrument with virtuous thoughts, auspicious thoughts. Through constant practice, we can do that. There's no doubt. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. Next question is from Rajendran ji. Would you please?
Samskaras, Swamiji.
Namaste.
My question is whether this Garbhadana ritual is to be done frequently till a child is born.
See, there are many aspects, there are many aims behind marriage, vivaha samskara. There are social aspects, there are psychological, and of course, biological aspects. Many aspects are there. We have to consider all these aspects. And as per the teachings of our acharyas, one main aim is procreation. It is essential for the sustenance of our dharma. It is essential for the sustenance of our dharma. So procreation is one of the main objects behind this vivaha samskara, marriage ceremony. So pati and patni must try for that. There are many factors. There are many factors. In the Bhashya, of Taittiriya Upanishad, while commenting on Prajatandumma Vyavachet Sihi, that mantra, Bhagavan Bhashyakara gives some hints. That is, we have to work, you have to work for procreation, and in the explanations, in the tika, like that, it is specifically written by our acharyas that if normally you are not getting children, you must go for treatments and other methods. And if such treatments are failure, according to medical science, you have to undergo treatments. And if they also are failure, then you can go for other yajnas. Other yajnas. So before going for all these, Pati and Patni must try again and again for getting children. So there also there is one aspect we have to consider. There are some days which are termed as Nishiddha Dinas. Such Nishiddha Dinas must be avoided. And as far as I know, these Nishiddha Dinas are determined by two ways. One, taking into consideration the menstrual cycle of the Patni. Two, the movement of moon, that is Tithi. For example, the Tithi Trayodashi is to be avoided. And Amavasya is to be avoided. And there are some other Tithis also. I am not remembering all this. If you ask a scholar in the Karmakanda thing, they will explain. I do not know all these things because it is not at all our subject. But as per Shastra, these Tithis must be avoided. Why we cannot explain? Of course, those who know the influence of moon in our psychic system and the effect of moon in our body, they can explain these things. So tithis like Trayodashi and Amavasi are to be avoided. And also some tithis in connection with the menstrual cycle of the Patni, that also to be considered and avoided. These things are there in our Shastra. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. Next question is from Sridevi ji. You can unmute and you can ask that question.
Swamiji, namaste.
Namaste.
Right in the beginning, you had explained that the word means insemination, Garbhadharana, Garbhadhana means insemination. But some people have explained it as attaining wealth of the womb. That means it's dhana or dhana. Dhana means it would be wealth. So what do the words actually mean?
Garbhadhana. The question
Yes.
is not clear. Garbhadhana, you are asking the meaning.
Yes, yes.
See,
Garbhadhana. So,
Aadhanam, Garbha plus Aadhanam. Not Dhana, not Adhana. Aadhanam. Aadhanam is putting something. Putting something. Aadhanam. Dha is the dhatu, is the root. Aadhanam is putting something or giving something, depositing something. These are the meanings of Aadhanam. See, the same dhatu, when the prefix ni comes, it will become nidhanam. Nidhanam, where many things are assembled together. Not nidhanam. Nidhanam is the end. Nidhanam, where many things are assembled together. That is nidhanam. The same dhatu, when the prefix vi is there, it will become vidhanam. Vidhanam will be order or categorizing. Vidhanam. So, dhatu is the same, but the meaning will become entirely different. So, adhanam is putting something or giving something. That. So, garbhadhanam means garbhasya adhanam. Viryasya adhanam. Virya means semen. Virya is shukla, semen. So, putting semen or giving semen into the womb of Patni is Viryadhanam or Garbhadhanam. It is not Dhanam. It is Dhanam, Adhanam. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. Next question is from Kamalaji. Kamalaji, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, Swamiji.
Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.
This is more not a question. This is more my observation. What I have seen in my practice as
Yes,
a
you must say that because you are a very senior gynecologist working in this field for many years. So you can, with authority, you can speak on this.
because what we have seen is actually when they are married and when they plan to have a baby, they are already, in a confused state because the priority now is completely changed. First, they want to settle their life, settle their profession, have to get a house, everything settled, and then they think about it. And they have a limit, a time limit for everything. And I always tell them the human body is not a computer. It's a computer, but it is designed by someone else. Yeah, not the ordinary Bhagavan. Yeah. So they just want to get everything done on the spot. So they won't even try. They will just go 2-3 months, they try. Then if they will get upset, and that time also the trying is absolutely without any relaxation, without any understanding. And then they go for all these new techniques. And they spend all their money there and then come back. Many cases had come back to me. Then I said, you are happy? So just relax. And give some medicines, whatever I can do, or sometimes even I suggest Ayurveda, and they conceive. Then many cases, not 1 or 2, we have made a list actually. This is what actually people have to understand. And the counseling has to be done while they are young, before getting married itself, if possible. What is the purpose and how they should, Even the parents
Yeah.
also should understand and when they give the children in marriage. Swamiji's opinion, and I just want to.
Yeah, it is essential. See, in the Ramayana, in 2 or 3 times, Sita Devi says, I got these advices from my parents before marriage itself. What is a married life? How a patni should live? How should a pati behave? All these things I have learned before my marriage from my parents. Not once, more than once, more than 2 or 3 times Sita Devi repeats this. And even after that, we can see Anasuya giving so many advices to Sita while she was on the way to dense forest. So this is most important thing. What we call premarital counseling, we must get from our houses. Our first teacher is our own mother. Mother is the greatest teacher. Not only the first teacher, but the greatest teacher. So we must get these teachings from our mother. If we are equipped with that knowledge, we will live a dharmic life. So all of us have heard what Kamalaji described. And I will add one more thing to that. I am fully with her views in this aspect. I am fully supporting her views, but I have to add one more thing. I came to know from many, many couples, and I have observed lives of many couples that after marriage, they will plan this and that, their financial thing, their this thing, that thing, so many things. And somehow she will conceive. When they know that she is pregnant, then they will go to many, many doctors or many hospitals for getting that aborted because it is not time. We didn't enjoy our life. We have to enjoy more and more. They could have enjoyed. But see, now after having pregnancy, they will go to many doctors, dharmic doctors. They will advise them, they will teach them how to live. But there are many who are running for money, not only in the medical, but in all fields. Such people are there. So they will help them to abort. Or without the knowledge or intervention of medical experts, they will go to the greatest teacher in the world, that is Google. They will type how I can get rid of this pregnancy, and they will purchase medicines without prescriptions from doctors, and they will eat their tablets, and they will get that aborted. See, this is a greatest sin, because thereby we are inviting Bhruna Shapam. Some may laugh at me when I speak about Bhruna Shapam. But you observe your life. This is a great Shapa. Bhruna Shapa. So we must not invite that. Have a plan. You can plan. You can prolong. You can prepone or you can postpone. That depends upon you. You are having perfect freedom. But in no circumstance we have the right to kill an embryo. Of course, if expert opinions are there regarding the problems that embryo is having, with the proper studies, proper analysis and evaluation, then it's all right. But otherwise, don't kill embryos. I am remembering one instance. Once a young couple came to ashram. Two children were with them. One of the age of 3 or 3.5 years, and the other 1.5 years, like that. And she was pregnant. So there was a fight in their house, in their family. This Patni, or the woman, she was not ready to carry that. She wanted to get it aborted. But he won't allow. So there was a quarrel. And somehow a thought came in them to visit the ashram and talk with Swami Chidananda Puri. So we talked. We sat for a long time. And so after hearing what their problem is, I asked them to kill their first or second child. I asked them, you kill this boy or you kill this girl. Swami, what are you saying? Killing our child? Yes. Will you do that? No, we will not. Then why you are trying to kill the child within her womb? See, when you are trying to kill a boy of 3.5 years, he will cry loudly. He will try to escape. He will try to run. And if you are trying to kill the other child, that is 1.5 years, she will loudly cry with pain, with fear. There is no doubt in that. But she cannot escape, because there is only a child of 1.5 years, so she cannot escape. But even then she can cry, express her feeling outside. But the poor fellow within the womb of the mother, that cannot even cry loudly, that cannot express the pain within that outside. So that killing is more grievous. That is, so you must not do that. There is no doubt you will get a best child. And after getting him or her, you must come to ashram. So you must chant some mantras, and I asked them to chant Vishnu Sahasranama daily, and also to chant Om Namah Shivaya daily, and weekly to chant Lalita Sahasranama. They did all this. After 1 year, they came with a child, with lustrous face. And this kid, see, on the very sight of me, that small kid of 3 or 4 months age started smiling. Then I told them, see, he is smiling. That means he knew the Swami protected me. Then they also laughed. He was a healthy child, most healthy. So this woman was fearing because of these 2 pregnancies and childbirths without that much time span. If I am giving birth to the next child, he or she will be having so many diseases. Unhealthy he or she will be. That was their belief. But they realized it was just the opposite. So this is an experience. Like this, many experiences we are having. So just think about this. So I'm just adding to that. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. Rajendranji has got a clarification to ask.
Swamiji, my earlier question was whether a karmi is involved in Garbhadana ritual, and if so, that karmam is to be repeated.
See, normally, as far as I know, that Garbhadana Samskara will be performed once. And on the same day, in the night time, they have to unite together. And normally, it will make pregnancy. And I do not know whether it is to be repeated again and again. I do not know that aspect. Because one ritual performed has given a sankalpa within you. And if that sankalpa is alive within, then I think it is sufficient. And if a large time span is there, of course, we can do next Garbhadana Samskara. And see, after first child, you are planning for the second child. Then again we have to do Garbhadana Samskara. There is no doubt in that. So Garbhadana Samskara comes many times in the life of Pati and Patni. But in the life of one Jivan, that is in one birth, one Jiva in one birth, only one Garbhadana Samskara is there. So we are considering Samskaras in connection with the Jiva. That is, we are thinking this, we are connecting the Samskaras with the Jiva. That is not with Pati and Patni, but with the man or woman who is coming into this world as the child. So for him or for her, Garbhadana Samskara is only once. Namaste. I think now it is clear.
Okay, clear.
Namaste, Swamiji. There was another question came on discussion. Like you said, the child should be the product of dharma, not the product of your lust or any other motive. So in Mahabharata,
No, not the byproduct of.
byproduct.
Not the byproduct of. Yeah.
Byproduct. So in Mahabharata, we have many anecdotes like, birth of Pandu as well as birth of Dhritarashtra, and the way that happened, like their birth happened in the storyline. So would you please shed a little more light into that, the way, the mindset and the motive and the dedication and the Garbhadana Samskara should have very much importance in the childbirth and planning a childhood. I mean, planning a child.
Yeah. See, Vyasa, Bhagavan Veda Vyasa, as instructed by his mother, approached all the three women with the same mental structure, with the same motive, with the same thoughts within. His attitude was same. That is on one part. But on the other part, the woman involved in that, they approached that situation with a different mindset. Their thoughts were different. And accordingly, Pandu, Dhritarashtra, and Vidura, they came. So what the mental setup was, accordingly, childbirth occurred. That influenced, or we can say that determined, not only influenced, but determined how the child must be. With that much respect, with that much love and care, one approached, and the result was a great scholar. One approached with that much feeling of suffocation, non-acceptance. Then came a blind man. The other approached with not only shyness, but some type of unacceptance was there. And Pandu came, but he was a scholar, was a man of knowledge. So even though there are some aspects of story, some additions, some deletions will be there, of course, quite naturally. But the basic thing we have to take, that is the psychological level which we are having at the time of procreation will definitely influence the child. Not only influence, but it will determine how the child will be. Because the calmness in our mind, the body, and thereby all our electrical and hormonal structures, that will influence. There is no doubt in that. So this Mahabharata instance, this incident, it clearly teaches us. Then some who are hearing this may be thinking, why these two women approached Vedavyasa with that much unacceptance? The answer is, Vedavyasa went to them taking an ugly form. Ugly form. Why? It is another psychological aspect. See, when a sexual relation happens between a woman and man, naturally, more and above love, a type of possessiveness will come, attachment will come. And this attachment and this possessiveness is more in women than in men. Of course, love is common. Love is common in men and women. There is no difference. But this possessiveness and attachment will be more in women. So that must not happen. That must not happen. They must not be attached to me. They must not have possessiveness over me. This was the thought. And with that thought, Vedavyasa, just to obey the instruction from the mother, he went to Ambika and Ambalika, and of course their Dasi, taking an ugly form, which will create a sort of irritation in those who are seeing. Because he wanted that they must not get attachment or must not have possessiveness with or over him. So that is why this feeling of unacceptance was there. This also we have to consider. I think now today we can conclude this, and next Saturday we can continue this discussion. Namaste. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.